And when I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
Well, we're on to Cincinnati.
It's my team. It's my quarterback.
They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Hello? You play to win the game.
They want you to cook the dinner. At least they ought to let you shop for some of the groceries.
And on the way up, we're going to buy the kneecap off.
You kidding me? Playoffs?
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
How can you not be romantic about football, man?
Woo! Welcome to another week of Benched with Bonnetta. We are getting closer to football, baby. I feel like every single week I start the same way. I start the show by saying we're getting closer to football, but now more than ever it's true because we're closer to football. Full disclosure, I had a tuna salad sandwich and a cold brew right before this. Your girl is feeling terrible. Speaking of feeling terrible, Mohan and I went out this weekend. Just a little fun cruise on the town. And there was somebody at the bar. Graver, I want your opinion on this. There was somebody at the bar that was doodling photos of people on Post-its, and just handing that caricature. You see those TikToks of people getting their caricatures drawn and they're just highlight every single feature in the most ridiculous way. And he was doing it to everybody at the bar and just handing them these rude ass Post-its. How would you react to that?
I thought I looked good in mine.
No, yours, yeah, sure.
Just pretend to be
It was more so the other people that we were with, their photos were pretty brutal. Just a highlighted every single funny trait about them.
I think the only thing you can do is say oh, thanks. This is so cool. I appreciate it. And then walk away as fast as you can.
Huh. So you liked yours. Did you keep yours?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's on my fridge.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I'm out of my mind. Back to me feeling terrible after eating a tuna salad sandwich and coffee. Not a good idea. But I am so excited for the show today. We've got so much to talk about. As we are inching closer, you would think that we'd have more actual football things to talk about, but no. This week, everyone was talking about, is Tom Brady on The Masked Singer? And I think that the answer is no. Honestly, guys, this has been really bumming me out this week. So everyone, he's not at training camp. He's not shown up with the Bucs this summer. Everyone's like, what's going on? Lots of rumors kind of being out there. The latest one, I think, last week was that he was on Masked Singer. Why would Tom Brady ever do Masked Singer?
There was a Reddit thread someone put together that just laid it all out, and it made sense from the standpoint of this argument. He retired back in March or whatever it was. So perhaps during that retirement period, he makes this deal with Fox, and then Fox, the Masked Singer's on Fox. He's I don't have an obligation during football season anymore. So in August, I could come on the Masked Singer, and then he's already signed up for that. So he doesn't want to back out because he doesn't want to lose the whole giant Fox deal. And Joe Buck.
Could you imagine if he lost the giant Fox deal because he wouldn't do Masked Singer? I actually love that.
That is crazy.
Storyline.
Joe Buck is a Fox announcer. He did the Masked Singer a little while ago. The taping dates that they have audience that you can sign up to be in the audience, the dates
I'm sorry,
lined
were
up
you the one that
exactly.
posted this on Reddit?
No, but I did read it.
You do know a lot about
this. Seems like you are pretty deep in the weeds on this one.
I bought heavily into the theory. That's
Do
why.
we think that Tom Brady has? Here's where I take issue with the Masked Singer. They auto tune everyone's voice, do they not? So it's how am I really supposed to know whose voice? Also, I love that these people are oh, what's that? What's that voice? Oh my God, is that Tay Diggs? As if they would know what Tay Diggs sounds like singing Christina Aguilera songs or something. It's the most ridiculous show. I don't know why people buy into this.
Don't they give him clues though? This person is an athlete.
I guess so, but it's if you auto tune, okay, sorry. Y'all are cowards. Don't auto-tune your voice. Then I'm in. Then I am in.
I think T-Pain went on the show, and T-Pain is famous for the auto-tune voice, right? And sang without auto-tune.
See, that's interesting.
He has a great voice.
That's an interesting storyline. But everybody else, it's show me, if Tom Brady was on The Masked Singer and I knew that there was no auto-tune, oh, good Lord, I would be sitting in front of my television on premiere day. I want to hear that voice. Do you guys think he's going to be a good singer? He's so good at everything.
No.
Right?
I don't think so.
He probably isn't, but
he can't have that as well.
He's been denying that he's on The Masked Singer. Meanwhile, Fox isn't saying anything concrete, but they're definitely hinting he might be on The Masked Singer, which of course they're going to do because they want everyone to tune in.
Okay, well, I don't think he's on The Masked Singer. So he posted these photos as when he did get back with the Bucs, and it's I think the caption was man, I've missed my guys, so happy to be back. And it's all these photos of his teammates smiling, so happy. And then if you look at the pictures of Tom, he looks like something's happened. Something has happened. And I know Mohan's anti this topic. I feel like him and Giselle are done. I think that they've broken up. I think that it was like reported that they went to the Bahamas or some like secret little location and they were away. And listen, I don't mean to talk about people's dirty business. I don't
That's exactly what you're doing.
I don't need to spill tea. But it's Tom Brady. He signed up for a life of people spilling his tea. I think, listen, I'm just trying to put myself in Giselle's shoes. Okay? Don't raise your eyebrows at this. Just listen. I'm just trying to put myself in Giselle's shoes. You have this incredibly talented husband who has gone on to win every single thing in his life, okay? Then he leaves the Patriots. He wants to prove to himself, or for whatever reason, I can do this without Bill, I can do this on my own, whatever, okay? He does that. Brand new city, brand new team. Incredible. We're like, oh, wow. What else does this guy need? He retires. Great. Go be with Giselle. Go be with your family. Go be with the millions of other dollars that you make from all these other things. And then he comes back. Like, if I was Giselle, I'd be like, what more do you need? Why can't you just be my Tom? My Tommy Tom. And that's what I think's going on.
The memes of him unretiring, and it was like, it's like parents with their annoying kids, and it's like Tom Brady 1 week
spends 30 minutes with kids, unretires.
But maybe when he retired, he's like, I want to spend time with my family. Like the kids are at an age where I want to spend time with them. They had this vacation plan in the Bahamas, and then he came back.
Hilarious.
And then he's like, oh, I promised my family a vacation at this time. I'm gonna do it.
So you think absolutely nothing's wrong? Business as usual?
Yeah.
They're gonna go about their year and their lives. Graver, where do you stand on this?
I like
Splitsville, or this is Us Weekly. This is the Us Weekly podcast now.
I like where you're coming from. Like, Giselle's mad that he said he would retire and now he's back playing football again.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think because Tom Brady's life is so public, like you said at the beginning of this, I think we would know already if this was the case. Somebody would have. I mean, they had the report that he was retiring before he could announce it out there.
But I Googled it, and there are reports. I had somebody message me about this week, saying that this was perhaps the case, and we were all like, and then I just looked it up like an hour before we started recording. I was like, is this like out there? And it is. There's multiple reports that they are getting split up.
I'm sure there are reports of him, like maybe he went to outer space.
Okay, Mohan. Wow, you're
I don't
just
know
like
why
a
I'm
big
defending
believer
him
in love,
so much,
huh?
but
Aw. Listen, I don't want this to be the case. I want them to live happily ever after. I'm just saying this might be. Listen, we're journalists. We got to report the news. We got to report the news, and this is what the news is.
It's on our radar.
It's on our radar. So, Tom, Giselle, I hope you're healing. I hope that you guys can find love again in the Bahamas. But, I mean, whatever has happened, we'll find out.
We always find out.
We always find out.
The number one NFL gossip show.
Gossip is what we have. Okay, so that's that. And then also some more gossip that came out. This is the story that Mohan wanted to lead with because he thought it was more interesting than Tom and Giselle getting a divorce. But guess what? It's not your podcast. It's mine.
I feel like there's a hint of something.
It came out this week that Dana White was trying to get Brady and Gronk to the Raiders when Brady left the Patriots. See, I just feel like this is old news. We already knew that the Raiders were on Brady's radar because he had already said that thing like, oh yeah, they're sticking with this bleeping guy. We already knew that was Derek Carr.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
Justin, did you know that?
Yes, I did.
I feel like most people thought it was Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yes.
No, I remember seeing reports that it was Derek Carr.
You may be right.
Stick with your guns.
But think about how crazy that would have been knowing what the Raiders went through last year, having Brady there, trying to deal with all that stuff without. So apparently it was down to John Gruden, and John was just like, I don't want to do this. So that's why they didn't do it.
The weirdest part about that whole conversation was when Gronk was like, I'm glad it didn't go through. And somebody he was sitting with on that panel was like, oh, really? Like, what do you mean, really? He won a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. Of course he's happy with the way it
Gronk
turned out.
also living in Vegas doesn't... I don't know if I want to experience that as like a viewer. You know? Like Gronk's beat... You know how they have like a club at the stadium there? It would be Gronk... They would just turn into Gronk's Beach.
For sure.
So I'm not into that. So Nice try, Mohan, but that's not what's leading the show. You know what else I want to talk about? Baker Mayfield. He was named the starter for the Panthers this week.
Panthers, a top 3 Benched Bachelorette team.
He is going to be playing in the opener against the Cleveland Browns. And he said that this week it's going to mean something to him. Myles Garrett, however, doesn't want to add fuel to the fire. Do you think he's just trying to be like, everyone just like stop talking about this. Just let's just like, because he knows that they're going to lose.
Yeah. And Stefanski was asked about it, and he said, I'm focused on week 3 of the preseason. We'll get to that week 1. Yada yada yada.
I was working out yesterday, as I do, and I was thinking about Kevin Stefanski. Because I met him at the Combine, and I was so freaking stoked. He was so nice. He was wearing his little Patagonia sweater.
He's a handsome guy.
And the Browns colors.
I told him he was number 1 in my head coach attractiveness rankings.
You
That's
did.
right.
I remember you telling us that. And
Shoot
you know
your
what?
shot.
Good on you. Good on you, Graver, that you did that. But he was so lovely, and I remember posting a photo with him, and I was like, guys! And everyone's just like, yay, we're so happy for you because you got to meet him. And then literally a week later, I had to delete it.
Due diligence.
But I was thinking about him because, like, he had such an incredible season. Like, he's had some success with this team, and he seems like a really nice guy. Obviously, I don't know him personally. He seems like a really nice guy, and now he's just, like, stuck with this mess.
Careful what you wish for, because it seemed like he didn't love Baker, and then he chose.
Yeah, but from what I'm hearing, he's not loving the situation that he's stuck in.
Yeah.
Now
Well, that's
either.
what I'm saying. He ended up with something worse.
Yoy. So Baker's going to be playing game 1. I am so excited for this game. I'm already like planning the spread. Like in my mind, I'm already like, okay, I'm going to town on the food. This is going to be like this is my Super Bowl. This is my Super Bowl. Week 1, Panthers, Browns, Baker starting. This is my Super Bowl against Jacoby. Yeah. Come on.
Baker is a fun fact. He is the 10th highest jersey sale in the NFL.
For the Panthers?
Well, yeah. Well, his Panthers jersey.
You know
so
what?
people
And we
are
love
in.
that for
people
him.
are in.
But the people are buying in. I love that. The last thing I want to talk about before we go to the break. Kyler Murray, guys, he keeps on calling these plays for preseason game. What do we think this is about? Is this a we want to save Kyler's, image? But it's not making Cliff look very good because I think this last game he had like many more points scored than when Cliff did calling the game.
Yeah, so he let Kyler Murray call the second half, and the Cardinals were down 21-3 or 24 they were down a lot of points, and Kyler took over play calling, and they scored a bunch of points.
Points scored by Cardinals when plays were called by Kyler, 14. Points scored by Cardinals when plays were called by Cliff, 3. Like, who's this benefit? What are we doing? You might be making one guy look better because he knows how to play. Like, what are we doing? You're making the coach look bad now.
Well, we talked about this on Around the NFL on Monday.
Wow, promoting another podcast on our podcast, as usual.
I just don't want to.
We're just the side.
I don't want to
Graver.
regurgitate these takes as if they're my own. So
Classic
this is
Graver.
what Greg and Mark were saying about this. Is that it does maybe it makes Cliff look kind of bad in the sense that he's worse than Kyler, but it's great publicity for Kyler, and it kind of pushes down the previous story about, he doesn't study enough, blah, blah, blah. But then the guys also said he's probably just calling the same plays that he calls in Madden on the field, and it's working for him there.
I think it's a genius move by genius PR move by the Cardinals.
I don't think so, because now it's you could also look back on last season and blame Cliff for the way that things ended. That game against the Rams that I always talk about was atrocious. Do not play Whose House. Do not play Whose House. Hands where I can see him.
But
you
now
can
it shows
easily
that
blame that on
the
Cliff.
quarterback is capable. He knows the playbook because that was the whole reason of the homework clause and the backlash from that.
I don't know, guys. I'd be curious. Let us know on the tweets.
The delay.
God! If you want this tuna sandwich to come back out onto this table, play that again. Play that all day long.
Epic social clip.
Listen, Rams, I love you. That's gotta go. Am I the only one that dislikes it?
I just haven't experienced as much as you.
You've not been to a Rams game?
No.
Oh, we got to get that this year. We got to get Mohan experiencing Whose House, Rams House. For
The only bad part about it to me is when the Rams are losing at home. And the only Rams game I went to last year besides the Super Bowl was the Titans at Rams. And the Titans dominated that game. And they're like trying to get the crowd amped up by playing Who's House. And like all the Titans fans in the stadium were then responding to that because they were winning by so much.
That's funny. That's great. Listen, I'm not going to change my mind about Kyler because he's calling plays. I'm going to change my mind because he shows up to work every day and he's an adult and he wins football games and he plays absolutely bonkers this year. Anything else, I'm still thinking about all the offseason crap that we just went through.
My last analogy is if I play Steph Curry in Pig and I get a letter on him,
okay,
that doesn't mean I'm better at basketball than Steph Curry.
I don't know, maybe it does.
So in this Kyler situation, just because he scored more points,
why would you go with Pig and not horse?
I get
plays
bored.
Pig?
I get
That's
bored
a real
easily.
quick game.
I get bored easily.
So you just do 3
Pig.
letters and then you give up and walk away?
Oh, and then you can play best out of
game?
3 or best out of 5.
Wow.
Depending on how it goes.
I'm more of a horse guy. Interesting. All right, we've got more football. Okay, there's a crazy Rex Ryan story that just came out. So we are going to be talking about that after the break. Don't go anywhere!
You're a horse guy?
I'm a horse guy.
He's the best.
All right. Lots going on this week. This literally just broke right before we started recording, and I got so psyched. Rex Ryan is going to be on Amazing Race, which this show gives me so much anxiety. Like, there's nothing worse than, like, having to be somewhere at a specific time, and you're racing out against all these people, and it's, like, halfway across the world, and, like, what if my plane gets delayed? No, thank you. I would not sign up for this show. But who is Rex? Okay, so Rex, Amazing Race, you have to have a buddy with you. You have to have a partner to go on this journey with. Who is his partner? This is interesting.
His name is Tim Mann. He's one of his golf buddies.
Okay.
Who's also a probation officer.
So this is confusing to me.
It's not his probation officer.
His
His profession
maybe we don't know.
is
Maybe there's more about Rex Ryan that we don't know that we're going to learn on Amazing Race. Okay, Tim Mann, and he is a probation officer and also a golf buddy. Okay. Cannot wait to meet Rex Ryan's friends. I'm sure they are very colorful. But this made me think of something. I would like to publicly announce that I think that I could win Survivor. I think that I could win a season of Survivor.
Wow.
Yeah. I think Mohan would not win and perhaps would embarrass himself on live television, like maybe even cry because he misses his mom. Oh my gosh. But you would go far.
I would go very far.
Because you are a schemer. And a scammer.
Schemer.
And you lie.
No,
but in the right ways.
So that's a horrible thing.
You play the victim. Like, you lie about, like, what's going on really.
This isn't a chicken and egg situation.
Listen, let me say something really nice about Mohan. Mohan is very, very smart and intelligent and knows what's going on with everyone at all times. But he doesn't let you know that. He plays it cool and plays dumb until you actually know him. Mm-hmm. That's why you would go far.
Got put on blast.
That's why you would go far.
So, Rachel, would you be
that.
like a really good social game, or would you be a challenge beast, or like what's your strategy?
Okay, so I'm a little bit of a gossip queen.
Okay.
So that's my Achilles heel.
Yeah,
is
you
that
have
I
to
would get
tamp that
caught
down. Yeah.
being the gossip queen.
Well, if we make an alliance,
gossip.
if we make an alliance, I'll let you know who to say what to. And that'll keep you safe. And then you help me out with the challenges.
I actually think all of us could go far. I would play the social game. I would be everybody's friend. I think that I've watched Survivor enough that I know how the game is played. Graver would go far because he's just such a nice person. And people, like, I would have a hard time kicking you off.
Yeah, like, my strategy would be to be friends with everybody, but sometimes you can get caught, like, playing both sides. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
People aren't going to like that.
Right.
Hold on. Time out. For a second, let's just rewind. I would go far because I'm a schemer, and Justin would go far because he's a nice guy. I just want to make sure everyone...
Sorry, where's the lie?
Nice guys finish last. I wouldn't go far.
Sorry, where's the lie? No, I really think that you would. I think people would have a hard time putting out your candle and looking you in the eye because they'd be like, oh, Graver's the nice guy. I'm really screwing this up.
Thanks.
But out of all three of us, I think I'd win. And that's just the truth.
I think we would be a good Amazing Race team.
How would you do with, like, the weather and stuff like that? The rain?
Yeah, I can do it.
Could you build a shelter?
Yeah.
Could you catch a fish?
Probably not.
That's what you gotta eat. You're gonna eat, like, rice and stuff, and that's it. I could do it. And I love the transformations. Like, people are just jacked at the end of it.
I love that we went from Amazing Race conversation, and we're just talking about Survivor.
Well, because I wanted to use it as an excuse to, I don't know, maybe we've got some producers on Survivor that love Benched with Bonnetta. Here's my chance. I'd love to be on Survivor.
I know someone who used to work in the as a travel coordinator for Survivor.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
She would go to Fiji twice a year, and that sounds fun.
I kind of want to know the background on like how Survivor is actually made. Like they can be in some pretty dicey situations. Like how are there like no tigers popping out to like sniff around, you know? It's just very interesting. It's all fake. It's like Lost.
I don't think Survivor's fake though. I think Survivor, of all the reality shows, Survivor, I mean, not that they're like actually in danger of dying, but in terms of like how much the producers control like the season narrative.
Wow.
I think Survivor is one of the ones.
Should we just turn this into a Survivor? Let's turn this into an Amazing Race watch podcast, and we're just gonna watch. Honestly, every week there's gonna be a Rex Ryan update on Amazing Race.
We should do that.
I could not do Amazing Race though because it gives me anxiety even thinking about it. So that is easily the best thing that I saw this week. I will be watching that. Absolutely. Also, guys, Andrew Luck retired 3 years ago today. Isn't that insane?
Is what, 29?
We love a mentally healthy king that is looking out for himself. That was such a sad day when he did that. And to think, like, it's August 24th. Could you imagine, like, a starting quarter? Like, that, it was just so crazy when he did that. And good for him. Look out for your mentals, people. We always say that on this podcast. And then the last thing, the crazy things that I heard this week. Why does everyone keep on talking trash about Patrick Mahomes? Like, are we asking him to just absolutely ball out this year? Tyreek Hill said that Tua is a more accurate quarterback than he is. Now Sammy Watkins is saying Rodgers is a better quarterback. Like, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is an incredible quarterback, but like, why do people feel the need to like say these things? Patrick's the kind of guy that's like, oh, cool. And then he's going to go out and have like the craziest season that any of us have seen.
Is this fantasy football advice from you? Draft Patrick Mahomes?
I guess so. Isn't that like a given? People should just like have that tattooed on their head at this point. Okay, guys, we are coming down to the end of the rows, shall we say? 3 teams left. Oh, I'm sad that this is going to be over.
It's been a good ride.
So many memories, so many connections made, you know? I know who it's going to be today. I thought about it on my way in. I mourned it. I made a list of pros and cons in my head, and unfortunately the cons outweigh the pros with this team. Carolina Panthers. Baker Mayfield. I'm going to let go of you. And this is a big moment on our show because, as you all know, I love Baker. Like, truly want nothing but the best for him. I'm probably going to cry week 1 watching him thrive. I hope he looks healthy. I hope he looks great. But the problem is Baker's not he's not like a Tom Brady. Like, I don't know if he's going to be in Carolina forever. And Baker's the one that I'm rooting for. I've been to Carolina once and it was too hot. Sorry. It was too hot.
Yeah, I feel
and there was a shark in the water.
Oof. I feel like this is a good, like, that was a fun fling, but do you really see a future with them?
I see a future with Baker. So I will be his fan. I will be a fan of his. So maybe next season, I don't know, maybe we do like a Benched Bachelorette with like favorite players, but Baker's always going to be my number 1. So I will continue to support him. But Carolina's too hot and it's got sharks in the water and I haven't gone in the ocean since. It was so scarring. So there we go, guys. Bills and the Chargers are left. Let me know who you think is a better match. Quickly, I'm from Canada, Buffalo Bills, Toronto. My personality, you know, I love taking jello shots and flying through tables, baby, that are maybe sometimes on fire. That's my vibe. But then the Los Angeles Chargers. It's kind of got the same thing that I loved about the Browns, the little brother mentality. They haven't won anything. Justin Herbert's my guy. So that is who is left standing. Any thoughts, any predictions of who is going to be on top?
I said week 1 it was going to be the Chargers.
Wow.
What about you, Graver?
Didn't you have somebody high up in the Chargers hitting you up early on?
There was some messages exchanged.
Yeah,
There were some messages exchanged.
An endorsement.
I think there's pros to both. You know, if you hop on that Bills bandwagon now, some people are going to call you a bandwagoner, but in 5 years, nobody's going to remember that. You might have a chance to root for the Super Bowl winner this year from the beginning of the season. They're everyone's favorite right now. Usually that doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't feel right if they did win. I feel like you'd be like...
Not a real thing.
Well, let me tell you, I have not made up I haven't made up my mind. I thought my mind was made up. It is not.
On the Chargers side, it's like they're right next door to where we tape this podcast. There could be chances to go
you guys
across
are leaning
the street, get some social content.
On one side.
No, I think both would be a fun team to root for this year because you got 2 exciting quarterbacks no matter which way you go, good coaching staffs. I don't know. It's a win-win.
Okay. Well, I guess, are we making a decision next week? That seems crazy.
Well, we have to because the following week we're previewing week 1.
Oh my God, I'm going to pick my team next week.
You got to commit.
I
for
will
a year.
be committing until we do, what's it called? Paradise Island? No.
Bachelor
in Paradise.
Bonnetta and Benched in Paradise.
Bonnetta in Paradise.
We're workshopping
guys,
this
I can
one.
barely even say Benched Bachelorette or whatever this is called. Guys, thank you as always for listening to this podcast. Let us know if you think that Tom and Giselle are getting divorced. Definitely not? You're voting no? Graver, what are you voting?
Not this year.
Dark. Don't forget to subscribe to the show. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at benched_pod to see the videos, clips we talk about each week with your own eyeballs. I love you guys. I mean it. If you were on The Bachelorette, I'd pick you. Just kidding. We don't know each other that well. But thank you for listening. We will see you next week. Bye.